From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty crime stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work. We will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love, thank you for your support, and more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you, God bless America, and more importantly, God bless our victims. Well, hello, my beautiful people of TikTok, Bullhorn Betty, should I say, Jailbird Betty. We got a new Betty. We got a Jailbird Betty, right? A lot of people are having a lot of conversations. I will tell you, I did get the order. I have not violated this order at all. As a matter of fact, this order is going to be going away. I know a lot of people have been very concerned about me, and there's been a lot of lies that happened. This was perpetrated by several content creators in conjunction with the Proudfoots and the Bowersox to try to have this done. If you don't know what happened, so many of you guys know there has been some major issues. I've been covering the case of Sebastian Rogers. He's a 15-year-old boy that disappeared from his home in Hendersonville, Tennessee, and has not been seen since the day he left. And of course, there's more drama in this case because the mom and stepfather basically lied under oath and got fraudulent protective orders and failed to serve me properly. And then that is what's been filed into my court system. All of this stuff is going to be stayed, and I know that there's been a lot of people on this platform that have been lying and not being very honest with the public about what truly transpired. So I was arrested for using hashtags and threatening to sue the Proudfoots and Bowersox from Florida on my live channel to my audience. That's what truly, absolutely happened. I find it awfully funny that the mom and the stepfather can spend this much time for me and my voice in searching for their son when they won't even get off their butts to help anything. But they don't mind paying a content creator $1,000 to harass me, follow me, stalk me, and they don't mind unlawfully having me detained. Now, a lot of people said that there was a gag order put on me by the judge. That is untrue. This is a standard form. The judge did nothing wrong. He did not violate my rights, and he did not say I could not cover a public case or the public people involved in that public case. And therefore, the Sumner County Sheriff's Office violated my constitutional rights and my civil liberties in this coordinated effort with these two people here to have it done. So, as I stated before, I have an attorney. My attorney was hired on August 8th. I was not to appear in court on the 22nd because I was not properly served. That's why I was not there. That's why my attorney wasn't there. And these orders were ordered in default. But the problem is, I've never seen these people. I've never been within 100 feet of these people. I've never threatened these people. And that's what they're saying that I did. And so we are in this situation. I want to make sure that we get back to Sebastian Rogers, that we get back to looking for information related to him. Sebastian Rogers has been missing since February 26, 2024, from inside his own locked home where he was with his mother and his mother alone. Those are the facts of the case. Those are undisputed. The other facts of the case is that the parents, the mom and the stepfather's story has changed wildly multiple times about the details that happened. We don't even know if Sebastian took a shower or brushed his teeth. Why? Because it was intentionally left out of their story, in my opinion. So I wanted to make sure that we are very clear that I am still covering the case of Sebastian Rogers. I will continue to cover the case of Sebastian Rogers. And Sumner County violated my rights. We have it in black and white. So I'm not going to really be discussing the case because I've got the attorney. We are working to get the ACLU involved. So if anybody would like to reach out to the ACLU to let them know that you guys would like them to take the case, the ACLU, you can Google it, is in Nashville, Tennessee. So we are moving on this. We do want action on this. This is a clear violation of law, and Bullhorn Betty didn't violate it. The Sumner County violated the law. The Proudfoots and the Bowersox violated the law. And I am absolutely 100% confident every bit of this will go away. It has to. They can't, I mean, literally has to. By law, has to go away. So I don't want to spend too much time on my problems because at the end of the day, I'm here for the well-being and finding Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. The statement, now I want to put something out there as well. There was a $50,000 reward offered by the FBI in conjunction with Clarksville. Clarksville is his legal address according to the state's records. He's got his ID at his dad's house, and it's with his dad's address on it. And this was before, he disappeared because he wouldn't have been there for the photo otherwise. I got to see it. He was so happy that day. He just was grinning from ear to ear. It was sweet. It was sweet. He's a handsome boy. I said he's a beautiful boy, and his daddy reminded me, he's not beautiful, you women. He's handsome. And I said, okay, he's handsome. He's a handsome boy, right? But we need to get back focused on this, take the drama out. This is a 15-year-old autistic child that's been missing for over 6 months. The drama's got to go. This nonsense has got to go. We need to be focused on this boy. Anybody that cares, right? If you don't care about these cases, that's one thing, and own it, right? Own it that you don't care. You'd rather be around for the drama. I can promise you, Bullhorn Betty's not the channel for that. But at the end of the day, we're here for information, to inspire people to come forward, to get some insight on what happened to this boy. We know that there was some problems going on inside of his home. CPS was there multiple times. SETH Rogers has those records, even though we have not been able to see those. Hey, Ashley, thank you. God bless you. So we're kind of here trying to figure out why in the world is Sumner County, like the lady, I read her statement. I want to read you guys her statement because I think it's very important. And I did this yesterday on my YouTube, and I hope you guys do go over to the YouTube and check it out. But here's what was said. Okay, you guys are going to absolutely, poop a brick, because you're not going to believe this can happen in America, okay? On August 2024, shortly after the hearing, the petitioner learned the defendant went on a live on her YouTube channel, Bullhorn Betty, and proceeded to blast how people were talking on social media about court and what took place because the defendant failed to appear in court. The defendant threatened to sue Proudfoots and the Bowersox multiple times and hashtagged Christopher Proudfoot, Katie Proudfoot, and their minor son Sebastian Rogers on her YouTube stream, Can't Fix Stupid. So I was arrested for hashtags and threatening to sue someone. I want people to understand the gravity of how malicious and unconstitutional this arrest was. Also, On August 22nd at approximately 12 noon, your affiant received information from Katie Proudfoot that the defendant was live streaming on her YouTube channel while driving and videotaping her feed. During this live stream, the defendant again threatened to sue Proudfoots and Bowersox, the live stream titled "The Garbage of YouTube," and had hashtags Christopher Proudfoot, Katie Proudfoot, and their minor son, Sebastian Rogers, listed on it. Based on these facts and statement, your affiant believes the defendant has violated the condition of 3 separate protective orders twice this day. Therefore, affiant is charging the defendant with 6 counts of violation of a protective order. These offenses occurred in Sumner County. And this lady signed under penalty of perjury, under oath. She's saying she's and before a magistrate, right? That these are true. I was in Florida when those statements were made. I wasn't even in Sumner County. I wasn't in Sumner County for another 10 hours after these went into place. I got into it, and actually, no, it was more than that because I ended up staying in a different state before I even crossed the Tennessee border. So I was not even in Tennessee until August 23rd, and that was around 12 noon. Actually, I think it was like 12:45. But either way, no matter how you look at this, this is a clear violation. We were told on here that I had a gag order. This is a standard form, like I said before, standard form. I'll put it up to my face. Order of protection, right here. And it's a checkbox type thing, so the judge can't make any mistakes. And in here, when it says, I'm not gonna read through it. If you guys want to read through it, you can go back to my yesterday on YouTube. You can go over to YouTube. It's like an hour-long video, and it breaks down everything that is said. But I just want the order to the respondent area. I'm to have no contact. You must not come about petitioners, including coming by or to a shared resident for any purpose, and you must not contact the petitioner and the petitioner's children directly or indirectly by phone, email, message, text message, mail, or any other type of communication or contact. I've never contacted these people. I've never had anybody contact these people. This is infuriating, right? I haven't even been in with 100 feet. I don't even know. I've never even seen these people in the flesh, right? I've seen one that followed me, and I got out of my car on a live stream to show they were following me and asking me why they are following me and harassing me. Like he was taking pictures of me in a parking lot, right? So I must stay away. You must stay away from the petitioner's home, workplace, children's home, and workplace. Hold on, what did it say? Hold on, it says, if we lose freedom of speech, we lose every other right. There will be nothing to protect us. Absolutely. This is so far, and not only that, but this detective knows better. She's a seasoned detective. She's not green. Personal conduct. You must not cause intentional damage to petitioner's property or interfere with the utilities. You must not hurt or threaten to hurt any animal owned or kept by the petitioners or the petitioner's children. This is what it says. This is what the legitimate order says. And then, of course, they try to restrain my firearms, and then they give me some orders on that. That's it. That's it. Not that I can't talk about them, not that I can't hashtag them, not that I can't run my business, which is covering true crime on all these platforms. None of that. I was arrested literally for hashtags, which does not notify anybody. It's a search. Everybody here is techie. You guys know it's only for searching purposes and searching purposes only. For people, if they're searching, say, Chris Proudfoot's name, they can type Chris Proudfoot and my stuff comes up. That's all the hashtags are a benefit to. The only way you ever get contacted by me is if you are subscribed to me on this platform as well as YouTube. The idea that I can't be on social media is ludicrous. The idea I can't talk about a public case is ludicrous and unconstitutional. So if anybody has any more to say, I'm going to say Sebastian Wade Drake Rogers, Katie, Chris, Terry, and Cathy's name, because I can. We're talking about a public case, and all of those people are involved, much involved in a public case. So while I know that people are passing around bunk information, I thought I would come here and share to you specifically about what happened. I was arrested for using hashtags. And why was I arrested? Because they didn't want a gathering of voices in front of Sumner County Sheriff's Department, which went forward anyways. I truly thought the judge violated my rights. The judge, even though these things are going away because I wasn't properly served, the judge did not violate my rights. Sumner County Sheriff's Department violated my rights. So we are reaching out to, like I said, the ACLU of Nashville, Tennessee. I do have an attorney that I've been working with since August 8th, and those things are going to be moving forward at rapid speed. And my attorney will be back in the office on Monday, so I'm sure more information will be coming out. These will have to be stayed because they failed to properly serve me. Oh, thank you, Chasen. And those arrests will have to be tossed because they first of all, they were unconstitutional arrests, even on the face of the order. But the order should have never been in place to begin with. So they have a double whammy there. And the fact that I never violated the actual order itself before the arrest, which is ridiculous. I made statements on my YouTube channel. I have a public right and freedom of speech. We have a constitution in this country, and I lean on it for every part of my business. I don't break the law. I don't violate the law. When I'm in these communities, because I am I'm out there, I have to follow the law to a T. Okay, I don't have the ability to skirt the law in any way, shape, or form because everything I do is very much public. And I always come from a place of strength. I always come from a place of law and order, and I will continue to do so. But this county, there's something seriously wrong in this county when you have sheriff's departments lying under oath to a court to elicit an arrest warrant. That is what we are dealing with in this county. This county was so far wrong. I don't know what's going to come of it, but I can tell you it's not going to be very good for them. I think that really is all I really want to address with the criminal aspect. You know, Jailhouse Betty, right? We're going to have a new we got Machete Betty, Bedhead Betty. Now we're going to have Jailbird Betty. I mean, we're getting a lot of Bettys here. We got, Butthurt Betty. We got a lot of Bettys, okay? That's what I got to say. We got a lot of Bettys, and it's growing, okay? This was not fun. This was a very unpleasant experience for me, but you know what it did? It just really, really got under my skin. And the only thing I kept saying is, how many more people have they done this to? You know, I'm not even thinking about myself or what I have been experiencing. I've got a platform. I can defend myself. I've got, resources and friendships, right? And people that support me, that have helped me immensely through this process. And to hear, because, we put so much stock in law enforcement, especially in a conservative area. We expect them to follow the law to a T. And then when we hear that it's very disheartening for me. And to know that this is the investigative body that is investigating a 15-year-old boy's case, it makes me very concerned, because if they're willing to lie, what are they, under oath to a judge, what else are they willing to lie? And that's for the parents as well as law enforcement. They try to intimidate me, right? To not raise our voice for this boy. That's what this was all about. And you know what? It didn't work. That's why it was so important. Even though I couldn't stay there very long, I had to go there, do my thing, and go straight to my attorney's office and come back. And I was very thankful that there was still a lot of people that chose to hang around until I got back. But the bottom line is that's what they were trying to stop. And that's exactly why it didn't get canceled. Because you are not going to intimidate me. That I've tried to tell people on this platform as well as YouTube, you will not intimidate me. All you do is make me work 10 times harder. I know my rights. I know the law. I follow the law. Like when I go into a state, one of the very first things I do is look at noise ordinances, look at, right of way. I look at these people's properties to find out where the setbacks, easements, county easements are. I make sure you don't understand how much time and effort I put into making sure that I follow the law when I go into these communities. And I never, ever, ever have even seen these folks, never laid eyes on them. Okay, they're saying that I'm stalking them. How do you stalk somebody? Well, first of all, everything was recorded, so you can clearly see I'm there for the context of the nighttime view, the context of the daytime view. You can see me driving in. I've merged some of those videos together to give you guys the nighttime and daytime view. I never even got out of my car, except whenever I hung flyers for Sebastian Rogers. Is the only time I exited my car there, because I was there alone, and the reason why I didn't bring the entourage is because I didn't want to make a spectacle. I didn't want to interfere. I wanted to make sure that nobody was bothered, that I could get in here, get my work done, and get out. And, a lot of people tease me over the years about how I just like to record everything. And I've been telling you guys I record everything because it's for my protection as well as everybody else's. And so this is one clear case that we have everything documented and above board on literally everything. I am a video journalist, okay? So that means I'm going to use my videotape anywhere and everywhere I can, right? If we go to true crime, what do I pull out? I pull out my recorders. I've got many, many cameras. I got body cameras. I've got cameras that are attached to hats. I got cameras that attach to my head. I've got cameras that attach to my back. I got cameras that attach to my car. I have audio going on hidden audio devices all over my body, just to be safe when I'm out there. Like, this stuff is not only recorded, but it's also recorded to the cloud. So if, say, somebody tried to take those things off of me or run away with them, everything that has been recorded up to that point is actually stored not on that phone but off site, so we have this stuff uploaded to different areas. So this stuff, there's nothing I can do differently to protect myself. This is going to be one of those things where all of these things that I've been doing for all these years are going to come into play, because I know where I was. I know what I did. My audience knows what I did, and I never believed in America, if you followed the law, you could ever be arrested. I mean, we do have Jan 6ers that have been political prisoners here, but this is not a political environment. This is a missing boy, and I just never thought that I would ever experience. I've heard about it. We've watched it in the past. But I never thought in a million years I would personally experience these types of violations and, civil rights as well as constitutional right violations had I not experienced this. So, people were telling me this community was corrupt. The sheriff was corrupt. I don't know how many people have reached out to me telling me to be careful of the sheriff's department. I didn't believe it, because in all fairness, just about 90% of our cases, we hear the same exact thing on, and it couldn't be any further from the truth. Law enforcement is doing the best thing that they can. They're not a corrupt body. These are, obviously people that have their feelings hurt or may have gotten into trouble. We deal with that from case to case. So I hear it all the time that it's so much so that it's really hard for me to believe that a community, do we have corruption? We have corruption in just about every community, political corruption of some sort. I mean, I've been around the block a time or two, but that's not what we're talking about here. Pure violation of people's rights type of corruption, like their law, and if you don't comply, they're going to put you in jail type. I've never dealt with that before. We've heard about it, but I've never seen any real strong evidence of it. I can tell you, while I was out there for the gathering of voices, there was like one man that was there, and he was there because of the corruption. Not in all fairness, not really. He stood up there for Sebastian, but he was really there because he was tired of being railroaded by this justice system as well. And I'm flabbergasted this goes on anywhere in America. But one of the hardest states that I deal with, and we've talked about it all the time, is Tennessee. Tennessee has the most of our cases, like Summer Wells name case. We have Sebastian Rogers, Layla Santinello, Holland Snap. These are all cases that have no bodies and no arrests in them. Okay. Hey River, it's nice to see you. That is a problem that we have, right? Is that they do not do circumstantial cases in there. Their laws need to be changed in there to give law enforcement more ability to do their job. And they don't. And this particular Sumner County didn't do anything right at the very beginning of this case, okay? They didn't follow the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children. What that directive states is that they are to turn that house and that child's bedroom into a crime scene. They didn't even take fingerprints of that home. Their dogs were all over the place, not the Proudfoot's dogs, the search dogs, right? The scent dogs. Those were a hot mess express where nobody knew what anything was going on or anything doing. It was a fumble. It was a complete and utter fumble. And then now we're back to the making the house a crime scene. We have no forensics. We have one news reporter saying forensics were done in the house, and when I describe what a forensic search of a home looks like, none of the neighbors say that ever existed. So I'm very confused about this. But I can tell you one thing that Sumner County did was just frustrate the crap out of me, right? Because I know by September, this is all gone. It has to be by law, by Tennessee law. It goes away. It's poof, gone, right? Because they violated the law. They violated the court order. The court order should never have been in place because I wasn't properly served. Everything that could have went wrong, and it all has to be now undone. And you know who's going to be, well, I'm paying a lot of money for it, but you know who else is going to have to pay a lot of money for this? The taxpayers. The taxpayers. So I hope you guys reach out to the ACLU for me, and I've already filled out my intake documents, but I'd really like them to really focus on this case. This is a clear violation of the law. This is a clear violation of a protective order. Like the detective should have known what her rights, what she could arrest me for and what she couldn't arrest me for. And hashtags is not in here. Threatening to sue somebody is not in here. And she actually lied and said these things happened in Sumner County, and I can prove I was in the state of Florida when these things happened. I've been to Sumner County one time for 2 days videotaping different areas of that community. One time prior to me having to go there to meet with my attorney. One time for 2 days. That is hardly rises to the level needed for stalking. I never looked for them, never wanted them. You guys can go check out the videos. It was all about the area. It was all about the view. And it was all about trying to figure out where those lights came from, you know, where the side of the house that we saw that the other light go back to. It was all done from inside of my vehicle on a roadway. I never even got out of my car. I want people to understand what truly transpired. So I'm in a better mood now that I realize that to what extent Sumner County violated my rights. Because to be honest with you, I was angry at the judge. I was angry at the judge because I thought he did a gag order, which is unconstitutional. And when I got the standard boilerplate order, checkbox, you know, check, sign, you know, I realized that the judge did nothing wrong. Because at the end of the day, the judge thought I was properly served when I clearly was not. So his order would have been proper for somebody that just failed to show up after being properly served, right? He did nothing wrong. It was all Sumner County Sheriff's Office. And I want you guys, I'm going to be uploading this here on my YouTube channel here in a little bit. And I want you guys to clip it. I want you guys to get this story out there. It is as cut and dry as cut and dry can be. Okay? I did nothing wrong. I literally broke no laws, and I went to jail for 18 to 19 hours. I want that to sink in for everybody. Because if it can happen to me, it can happen to you. Whether you like me, don't like my commentary, think I'm a little extra, right? And I just might be. So what? It's me. Love me or leave me. Right? Whenever you start screwing with somebody's constitutional rights and civil liberties, that is a major problem. That is something that we as the United States can't accept. Because if you can do it to me, what happens to the next person? Okay, the next person that doesn't have the platform, that might be uneducated, being railroaded by the system. These parents lied on an affidavit. The grandparents lied on an affidavit under penalty of perjury. So the parents that are looking the most suspicious, because this boy was in their house, right? He was only at home alone with his mommy. He's autistic. He has sensory issues. Yet he leaves the house in freezing cold weather without any shoes on. I don't know what's going on with my camera, so I'm sorry if it's flickering. It's a little odd, if you ask me. A little odd. So these are, kids just don't disintegrate or evaporate. He was never seen on the neighbor's camera walking out the front door, although his mom and stepdad said he walked out the front door. And of course, we have law enforcement that failed to do any latent fingerprints on that door to find out if his fingerprints were even on that door. We have no scent from the dogs. We do have a scent track, but clearly, I doubt that that's Sebastian. I think that that's whoever went to that unmarked car, right? The unmarked car. But when it comes back to our constitutional and civil rights, we have a right to talk about public cases. We have a right to dive into public cases, and no law enforcement is powerful enough to take away constitutional rights lawfully. So in order for them to do this, it was unlawful. I got arrested and thrown in jail for 19 hours for using hashtags on my own private, personal YouTube channel. You guys should be very, very, very worried. Very worried. This was egregious. This was damaging to my reputation. This was bad. And this is a bad look for Sumner County when your own detective is willing to lie under oath. And this detective has made some major busts. Human trafficking, substance, big, huge drug busts. This is what this detective is known for, right? So it makes me wonder how many affidavits in those larger cases she doctored or lied to under oath, knowing the truth. It is concerning. It is concerning. So I have challenged myself. I'm going to be going through her entire, I'm going to look into her very, very well. I'm going to be reaching out to all the attorneys, all the defense attorneys that have had her as a detective, and I'm sending them over everything I have on myself. Because if she can do this to me, I don't know how many other people she has done this to. And I want to make sure that those defense attorneys are well apprised of the practices that she did to me. I am one person. Did I used to follow the law? Of course not. I was a troublemaker. I used to do drugs. I used to drink. I used to do a lot of stupid stuff in my 20s. My 20s is a blur. So what? I can tell you I haven't violated any laws in any states that I've covered when I cover true crime. Ever. I do this as a labor of love to help people because I know that I have a very powerful voice. I know what I'm capable of and what I bring to the table. I know how tenacious I am in finding the truth in these cases. I know what my limitations are and what I am allowed to do, what I am allowed to look into, who I am allowed to talk to, which is anybody. Because again, we live in America, the most freest country in the free world. And they tried to silence me and take away my voice. A person like me, that only makes me push back. And it makes me push back 10 times harder. And Sumner County, I don't want to say Sumner County because it implies the whole county. And it's not the whole county. It's just the sheriff department. The sheriff's department. And not only that, but for our gathering of voices, we went through everything. We talked to mayors. We talked to the planning commission. We went through the entire process to make sure that everything was above board. We let them know exactly what we were going to do, that we were there to pray. We were there to chant. We were there to have cake, whatever cake. Every time we go into these, and we do these at the law enforcement agents or offices, any cake that's left over, we always give it to the sheriff's department with a thank you card. Now, I will tell you, we did give the cake over to the sheriff's department, what we didn't eat, but they didn't get a thank you card. I should have sent them a bill. Seriously, I should have sent them a bill. So, there's a lot here because I don't want to punish all the good law enforcement because of a few bad actors. And I hate having to paint their sheriff's department with such a broad brush because I know there are good, wholesome people, just like in any law enforcement body that, that are like me, law and order. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no gray area in the law. You're either right or you're either wrong, And I have to think that there's a lot of police, because I deal with police and sheriffs all over the country. Have I ever been treated like this? Absolutely not. But either way, we now know that this is this sheriff's department. And my only message to them is, how dare you? Because police departments are under attack, sheriff's departments are, law enforcement is under attack across this country. And for them to do this on such a public case and public platforms is disgusting, because it gives all law enforcement across this country bad names when they see nonsense like this happen. All of them. Because of one bad actor, hundreds of departments can look bad. And it's a shame, because my drumbeat is fund law enforcement, not defund them, right? This law enforcement not only needs funding, they need better training, and they need a change. They need a change in leadership in this county, with 100%. I am a political activist and advocate. And I can tell you, this is almost making me want to work across the aisles to get this guy out of office. Almost. So I'm hoping they can bring a good sheriff that's running against him that I can agree with. Because I will tell you, I will get out there in Tennessee and Sumner County and work my tail off to make that man go. After what I have been put through. I will phone bank. I will door knock. I will walk and talk. Give me marching orders, give me a stack of paper, and buddy, I will work my butt off for you to see you become sheriff to get this yahoo out of office. Eric Craddock was not Sonny's first pick. He was actually his 6th. So clearly, we've got 5 other people that are much better at being a sheriff than Eric Craddock. But this is my first time talking to TikTok. Many people on my YouTube channel are already apprised of everything going on. But I wanted to come over here and tell you guys, from me to you, what truly happened. And I wanted to bring receipts, as we say on YouTube, so everybody knows I did nothing wrong. We need to get focused back on Sebastian. The whole purpose of this was to take the focus off Sebastian and the focus off the bad actors in this case. We will not allow that to happen. Sebastian is more important than that. His father, which I work very closely with, he wants answers. He wants to know what happened to his son. He wants his son brought home safe and sound. He wants his son home. His son's mother and the stepfather have done everything possible to throw monkey wrenches into every single effort people have brought in to help find Sebastian or locate Sebastian, including but not limited to filing protective orders over a month after I left the area, saying that they were in fear of their life. Over a month. I was only there one time for 2 days in that area. I mean, well, I guess in the Sumner County 4 days, but I went to Hendersonville. Then I went over to Memphis to drive to Memphis and look at the St. Jude's, because that's where Chris said he was at. And then I spent the last day in Gallatin and White House following up on some leads and other things out in those areas. So you're talking about a 4-day period. Not only that, I had to leave I had to go to Layla Santinello's 1-year milestone. That was that same week. And then I had to go over to Virginia for a political event. And then I was going to come back and do some more ground search. But that's the week that I found out that Delilah was ready, right? My puppy was ready to be picked up, and my best friend had my brand new baby puppy sitting at her house waiting for mommy. So after Virginia, I literally had to come back to the state of Florida, and I never went back again because now I had a puppy. And it wasn't until after they took Faith went back to her mother. So you're talking about over a month. You guys hear me, y'all? Over a month. And it was only after Seth publicly stated he was doing the candle or the prayer vigil, and I publicly stated that I would be following up with the gathering of voices the following Monday after the vigil, since everybody was going to be there for the vigil. That's when those protective orders started being rolled out. And when they realized that they couldn't serve me with the first one because I was in a different state, and then the second round came. And then when they realized I wasn't there for service of that, then the third round came. The staggering, the very strategic, malicious moves of these people. This detective is a seasoned detective. She has subpoena power. There's no excuse for any of this. This was intentional, this was dirty, this was rotten, this was from Sumner County. So, I will say, oh wow. So, there are some things here, but I wanted you guys to see me, hear it from me, hear what truly happened, what truly transpired, and tell you guys we are getting back to searching for Sebastian. These distractions have to go. You guys have to unsubscribe from these bad actors on these platforms, okay? These people that do nothing but create drama. They're not helping. They're only hindering an investigation. And every time you go there and support them, you're being complicit in that hindering of the investigation. We have a $50,000 reward, okay? This is amazing. This came from the FBI. This is something that Seth had been working on for a significant amount of time with the FBI, and it had to go up the flagpole. We didn't expect it to be stated while we're having the gathering of voices, but wow, it was finally confirmed and released during our gathering of voices. We couldn't have been happier. I'm so pleased with the FBI. Seth's been working with them. He hasn't trusted Sumner County for some time with his son's case ever since he found out that there's possibility of Chris's family working in the department. We watch here, as well as the Facebook, that there is definitely some leaks coming out of Sumner County about very specific things that should not be coming out of Sumner County. Oh, thank you, you for the galaxy. Oh, I love you. Is it just Shay? Thank you. Thank you. God bless you for that. So we've got to, there are some leaks coming out of Sumner County, and these are detrimental to the case. I cover the case. There's a lot of stuff that I find out when I'm boots on the ground there that never come on my channel, that never are released to the public, and it's because it goes to the integrity of the investigation. And I'm a content creator. How dare law enforcement, somebody that wears the badge that's there to protect and uphold the law, that has a major case going on in their department, how dare them leak information that could be detrimental to the case? How dare them do that? You know what I'm saying? This is not their child. This is somebody else's child. And I'm appalled that we have so many leaks in Sumner County. It's very concerning to me. So we have them arresting innocent people and letting the criminals go. We've got them leaking confidential shit, excuse my language, on these streets. And I'm going to be calling for an internal investigation of that whole department. I will be working on that for the next week, the next month. I don't, however long it takes to get somebody in there to do their darn job and find out what is going on in that sheriff's department. But I can tell you, I have very large platforms, and my platforms are going to be ringing from the rooftops about what happened, because I've got it all documented. All of it. This is only part of it. We have a lot. And so I just want people to hear what happened from me and not what people say happened, lie to you, misinformation, whatever. That's what happened. That's read in the black and white. You can't take people's constitutional freedoms away. Sorry, Charlie, ain't happening. You can't prevent me from talking about a public case. You can't prevent me from putting hashtags in my channel. I've never seen these people, never threatened these people. These people are dirty, and so is their police department. And I should say sheriff's department. I don't want Hendersonville Police Department getting a bad rap for the crap the sheriff is doing, right? So that's where we are, guys. On the next lives, we're not talking. I've got an attorney. We're not going to be discussing my legal stuff, because again, I know I have a lot of people that have supported me financially and otherwise throughout this process over this last week. I do appreciate all of that love and support. But we need to get back to Sebastian. What they wanted to do is derail this case. What they wanted to do is take the focus off Sebastian and off them. We're not going to allow them to do that. They're not going to intimidate my mouth shut. These parents have some explaining to do. And I hope that they do it. And here's another thing. When they offered this reward, this $50,000 reward for Sebastian, one of the news crews went out to their house. One of the news crews went out to their house to get a comment on it. Their comment was no comment. Their comment was no comment. Yet in Facebook, we have, we have Nick Barris. I'm going to start calling him Snake Barris, because that's what I feel about him. And he has some comments. But this is the funny thing. I'm only going to read. If you guys want to go and watch it, you guys can go over to my channel on YouTube and watch the whole live, yesterday's and today's, and get a good context of everything. But even though Chris and Katie wouldn't comment and basically kick the news reporter off their property, decides to reach out to Snake Barris and provide him a statement. And this statement, the weird thing about this statement is it sounds crafted by an attorney, not by the family. Do they have an attorney, a criminal defense attorney? Might be a topic of conversation for my lovely people over here on TikTok. So Nick states, today, Sebastian's mother, now mind you, this was just 21 hours ago, so days after a $50,000 reward was offered to Chris and Katie. Days. I was cheering the minute it was released. Seth was cheering the minute it was released. And we got Chris and Katie not even responding and saying no comment for days, and then decides to write a written statement to Snake Barris. And it says, today, Sebastian's mother, Katie and stepfather, Chris Proudfoot, reached out to me with this statement because we won't talk to Chris. Seth won't talk to Chris. He tried to get me to say something at the Gathering of Voices. I turned my back on him and sat on a cooler. I don't want nothing to do with Nick. I got nothing to say to this man. This is their statement. And listen to how lawyerly it sounds. We first would like to thank the FBI for this gracious reward offer of $50,000 to benefit the case of our missing son. It's kind of funny now all of a sudden they're missing our missing son, right? Our missing son. Mr. Stepfather that likes to call this boy Artard and other, bad names. They're so, now he's his son. Remember, he used to be Katie's boy, Katie's son, or the boy, right? But now all of a sudden it's his son. I find that odd. So they want to say thank you for that, for our missing son, Sebastian Rogers. We pray with this reward it will bring useful tips and or leads. That's not normal language for lay people, right? It'll be tips and leads. They have and/or in this. So that's what's leading me to believe that this is a more professional writing than a normal lay person would do. Sounds very lawyerly. So and or leads that result in the safe return of our son in Hendersonville, to his Hendersonville home. And as I said, we don't want him going back there. We want him going to Clarksville to stay with his dad, with what's been stated going on inside that home toward Sebastian. And again, that's not me stating it. That is the, obviously CPS has been out there several times. There is, Seth has reports that he hasn't released to anybody. So it's like, he doesn't need to go back to that home. We would like to, this is where I start getting choked up and almost want to laugh because this is such malarkey. It's not even funny. I bet you they're thanking Sumner County Sheriff's Office because they're heavy lifting for them, don't they? They won't throw them in jail for violating or lying under oath, but they don't mind throwing an innocent person in jail that has not committed one crime in their county or broke the law in any way, shape, or form. He says, we would like to also thank you to Sumner County Sheriff, TBI, and here's the laugher, the supportive public for their continuous effort being made to bring Sebastian home safe and sound. Well, like I said on my YouTube channel, it sounds like anybody that has tried to help in this case either gets harassed and ran off. Terry Lynn got her tire punctured. I got arrested for doing nothing wrong, but they want to thank us all for our continued support. I support Sebastian 100%. There's something going on inside this home that makes me a little concerned in supporting of his mother or his stepfather. Your tireless effort are acknowledged and greatly appreciated. Sebastian, if you hear this, just know all of your family loves and misses you and can't wait for you to be home safe and sound. And I'm going to add, but we are not willing to get off our ass to help look for you to this. All right, so there you guys have it. That's my spiel for today. Bullhorn Betty is innocent. Stand with Betty. Call out to Nashville, ACLU. Tell them to take my case. There is a major case here, and it makes me wonder how many more. And that's what I said from the very beginning. Here I am walking out, and my only thought is how many more are just like me in this county. How many more? Because if they're willing to do this on such a public and national level, they're disgusting. They're disgusting. But hey, they want the attention. There is nobody that's going to give Sumner County the attention like Bullhorn Betty, right? Just saying. All right, guys, I love you. God bless you. Go make it a day. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, be kind to one another, even when faced with adversity. God bless.